Hello, this is Piera Luna Tarot 808. Today I'm doing a collective reading. As before, I'll be using the houses not only as things that could happen for each of the signs and your sun sign or your moon sign or ascendant, but also as collective energies on each of the signs. So we are starting today with, and this is a reading that I made for recommendations as to how to deal with this strong energy that we're gonna have for the full moon on the when is the full moon? On the 19th. Well, this weekend there's a strong energy starting from probably tomorrow, 17, 18, 19, with the full moon. I don't know if you've noticed already, but if you've seen the calendar, um, and if you work, I don't know, in either tourism, or you work with people, or you work maybe in hospitals, or maybe you read about it, but when there's full moons, a lot of people tend to act out, especially, and not like a lot. If you're carrying a lot of tension and a lot of burdens, it's very likely that you're gonna be like on edge because the full moon has that energy. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody's gonna be like that, but because we're almost 2 years from the pandemic, and we're hitting that the full moon in Scorpio season, and it's a strong full moon, and the planetary alignment is a bit caustic. So the recommendation from all the astrologers is not to get caught up in conflicts. If you feel that there's a conflict to start, just take a step back, and just prefer to anything that you, if you feel like there's already like fiery and convulsive energy on any area in your work, with your partner, like you feel like tension is building up, bubbling up, then prefer to wait for next week to clear anything that you might need to clear. The recommendation from the astrologers is that you try to, because we all have the tendency of putting people in, correcting them, of course, when they're saying something that is not obviously correct. But this week is a week where it's recommended to do any kind of clarifications that you need to do next week. Of course, if someone is being out of hand, you need to put them in their place, but just try to avoid any kind of conflicts this week because the energy is going to be very fiery. Now, that fiery energy is not all negative. That fiery energy of the eclipse, because we have the eclipse, it's the Beaver eclipse. I wrote the hair eclipse somewhere on my social media, but it's not the hair, it's the Beaver eclipse. And it's going to be a long eclipse, so eclipses are endings and beginnings. So as I said, there's also this energy that we can ride, and we can take advantage of manifesting new things. But for that, we need to be aligning with being in uh, connecting with our inner self. And these are the recommendations that I asked the tarot cards to give us on how can we better navigate this full moon energy, and what more or less can we expect, and what are like the cures, or like the ways to lower the tension and to find more like a nicer ride or a more comfortable ride during these energies, and maybe even being able to canalize all that energy of that is building up into creating something that you want, into something positive and productive. Okay, so today we're working with the tarot cards for kids, by Theresa Reid and illustrated by Kailey Whitman. This is a recent release on Amazon. It's for $14, and I love it. It's very nice. It has like nice large cards. They're the kind of cards that you would like to shuffle like vertically, because um, horizontally, of course, there's too large. But they're very nice, and I really connected with them since the beginning. So we're gonna start with the dice, the astrological dice. So the energy, or like the recommendations, the advice, the silver lining that the tarot cards are giving us for the strong energy of uh, of the eclipse, of the full moon in Scorpio. It's going to be on Taurus. Well, it's the Scorpio season, but the moon is going to be on Taurus. So maybe we can get some good blessings from Taurus if we're able to ground ourselves and connect, so that we are like, we find our anchor in the our point of peace in the middle of the storm. We have the cards of the cards no the dice, astrological dice. We have the house 8, which is the house of Scorpio, very much in its transformation, and that's the topic of this eclipse, is transformation. Things that are going to be transformed for the better, or is there due time for them to be transformed. We have also here the sign of Capricorn, which actually we're receiving that kind of energy already planetarily of Capricorn at this time, and this is of Neptune, of the planet Neptune. And here we have 3, which is 3 is a number of communication, the symbolism of communication and of creation as well. And it's also the house of Gemini, which is about communication, which is which is ruled by Mercury. So what this is telling me is this is also a reflection of the energy. We have energy of transformation, with Pluto being the ruler of Scorpio. And Pluto is the tarot card of Pluto is actually a death card, is ends and new beginnings and rebirths. But in order for there to be a rebirth, there has to be a cycle of things that die. So and transform, because it's not like, it doesn't necessarily, and it usually doesn't mean like actual death, but the death of what we used to be, or our conceptions that die, or things that transform and that are no longer like they used to be. So what we have is, I feel there's energy of communication from things that are going to be transformed during this eclipse season, which have to do with Neptune, with things that are very deep inside of us. There could be a topic of emotions, could be a topic of maybe people coming out about their feelings for other people, and it's also about finding direction and how we want to transform our lives for them to have a soulful meaning to us, because Neptune is also about our emotions, deeper emotions, and it's also about, in a way, about it's also humanitarian, and it's an idealist, or believes a lot in idealism. So and with Capricorn is an energy of being practical and of transforming things. So I see there's a combination of our practical things in life. They're going to transform, they're going to have more meaning, and there's communication about we're going to receive communication or news about these transformations that are going to happen during the eclipse time. So we're going to start with the Aries being, either you see it as your sun sign, and maybe it's a message for you, or for your moon sign, or your ascendant, or maybe it's I don't know, your true love sign as well, and you want to check it out. But it also is this house also has an effect on our lives, and this is like our house of starting things, of like the earthly plane, of what happens in our lives in a tangible way. So the recommendation from the cards for things that we want to start, or decisions that we need to make, transformations that we might need to make in our life, from news that we might get from this eclipse season, from this full moon in Taurus, is that any decision that you make, and I'm using here poker cards as clarifiers, make sure you have all the information. This is the Ace of, okay, so that we're basing our decisions or we're taking decisions basing them on seeing all the angles of the truth, and trying to be as objective as possible. And if you are not able to see all the details this week, then of course wait until you have them, before you take any decisions that are going to transform your life in a strong way, like changing jobs or moving or whatever. Anything that's very transformative, just make sure you have all the information before you make any decisions. For the house of Taurus, which is like our comfort, which is also alive, it's also our financial comfort, the recommendation for this eclipse is to with the Six of Cups and the of Cups. Page of Cups is about having fun, about analyzing, not analyzing, feeling, because cups are and hearts are not about analyzing, but about meditating and feeling about the meditating on our feeling of the things that make us feel happy, that makes us feel joyful. And we might, it's a good time if you're feeling like depressed or you're feeling down, or whatever's going on. The recommendation is to go back into your childhood. What was it that made you happy when you were a kid? Maybe it's coloring, maybe, I don't know, it's Legos, whatever. Doesn't matter if it's something very childish, if it's something that might bring you like peace and comfort. Comfort is what you need. Maybe the clue to finding comfort at this time, or where you're going to find your light, is going to be in doing something that you love to do during your childhood. Something just silly, funny, just something that is ludical. Just and without even thinking of what are people going to think about me. I mean, I'm 60 years old or whatever your age is, and I'm playing with Legos. Doesn't matter. These are very difficult times, and if that's what it takes for you to release some pressure, and this is for everybody, not only for Taurus. If we're feeling like we're overburdened by the times we're living, take your time to do something that you used to love to do when you were a kid, be it something as even watching cartoons, or watching a movie that you loved to watch when you were a kid, just to put your mind away from that, and as a reminder that life wasn't always stress, and that life is not always going to be stress, because this too shall pass, and everything has a season and a reason. So if you're feeling down, know that can be like a way out, is to find ludical and fun things to do. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of healing from doing things that you love to do in your childhood, that we all loved to do in our childhood. For Gemini, and Gemini is about communication, and it's a house of numerology 3. We have very nice cards. We have 3 here, 3 of Cups, and we have the 10 of Cups. And what this tells me is during this time, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, send them loving messages. I think that's going to be a nice way to raise up our energy, and because Scorpio season is also about meditating on the things that are valuable in our lives, and without a doubt the most valuable things we have are our family and our friends. So reach out to them, send them something funny, or whatever. If you're not very communicative, just reach out with something that that you can, I don't know, like something that they like. I also feel with the 3 of with Gemini being 3, and being communication, and also that we have 3 on the dice. I feel that we might have communications from people from the past, or maybe for people who have Gemini Ascendant, Sun, or Moon sign, or for someone who has Gemini on their chart, or there's great possibilities of reconciliations. Maybe people from family to romantic. There's great chances of healing old wounds, and feeling happy, and feeling like we belong, and feeling that sense of love, and of sacred family, and of the value that our friends bring to our life as well, because our friends are also our soul family. And I also feel like you might, or some might be receiving messages from people from the past who want to reconcile with you, and they want to build something solid. That could be also because of the influence we have of Venus being in Capricorn, and it being an energy of putting our love in a place where it grows, and where it has a future, and where it has purpose and meaning. So it could be because of the times we're living. People are just seeing life in a different way, and they're getting more real. So this could be a time during the eclipse season where people might reach out to you and say, you know what, I never said this to you, but this is how I feel, and now with the pandemic, I'm reevaluating everything in my life, and I realize this, and that. So those could be messages for you, or for some of us. For the house of Cancer, we have the following cards. We have the Wheel, and we have the Eight of Wands. Now, for me, this recommendation is that or what the tarot wisdom that this is giving me, the spiritual message, is that Eight of Swords is feeling like you're trapped, like there's no way out. But usually or most of the time, the Eight of Swords trap is a mental entrapment. It's something that we can easily get out of. And what this is telling me, if you're a Cancer, or you have moon on Cancer, or ascendant on Cancer, and you feel like trapped, like you're not finding a solution to something that's been going on, know that this too shall pass, and that the wheel will change, will move, and you're gonna go from feeling stuck to feeling unstuck. And whatever the obstacle was there in the way, or felt like a spiritual lesson, like something that you were having a hard time dealing with, it's going to be removed, and you're going to go from feeling trapped to feeling liberated. For the house of Leo, which is 5. Oops, did I bend the card? Okay, yeah, for the house of Leo, which is 5, and it's about our childhood, about doing joyful things, about celebration, about creativity, about being creative. I had these 2 cards, and this is which is the same card. This is the Four of Wands on the tarot deck, and this is the Four of Wands on the poker cards. So this is a great significator that I think for Leo, the energy seems to be very well aligned. Or our creative energy seems very well aligned. So it's a great time to create things that would have that would achieve great things, that can be solid. I also feel with the Leo energy being a fiery energy, that also again brings me to the topic of relationships. I feel like there's enough fire in people's hearts. Like what I was saying about the energy a strong energy can be misplaced, and it causes chaos and aggression and violence, and it can happen to anybody. We end up saying things we shouldn't say, but that energy, well canalized, can be an igniter and a game changer in your life, to get you out of your comfort zone, to get past your fears, and to become courageous, and to achieve something that you were fearful of achieving before. And this could very well be either being creative about starting your business, or finally putting the fire into and the push into making a relationship solid. And also Leo and this is also about celebration. So this is also of course, we're in the pandemic, and it's not like we can have activities with a lot of people, but if you feel like you're feeling a bit down, just remember to celebrate the things you can in your life in whatever creative way you can. And you being a Leo, you find a creative way to celebrate that we're alive. It's been 2 years of the pandemic, and here we are standing. And it's been a great transformative lesson for all of us, for the whole of the collective of humanity. I'm sure there isn't one person that hasn't been impacted by everything that's been going on, and thankfully things are progressing. In 2 years we've lost a lot of lives, but things have progressed so much that there's already like several vaccines and boosters and pills. So we should pat ourselves in the back of making it this far, and of all the heaviness, the emotional heaviness that has been for the entire collective of humanity. And that's quite a transformative energy, and that's very Scorpio. And during this time, there's great chances of transforming that energy of the chaos, of the crisis, of the difficulties, and turning it into gold. turning it into opportunities, turning them into transformation for us. So it's time also, if you find yourself like in that kind of frame, if you're more in that person that has more fire in their chart, just celebrate. Maybe you won't be able to celebrate with a lot of people, but maybe you can do a Zoom meeting. Get creative, because that's your thing, Leo. Get creative on how to celebrate that you are alive, and for all of us, to embrace that energy of Leo, to uh, to be grateful we're alive and we've made it this far, and we've made it this far by conquering our inner world and the mental weight that this has been, because it hasn't been easy for anybody. And it's time to breathe out and to celebrate that we're here and we've made it this far. So for Virgo again got the Justice card and also the Page of Swords. Page of Swords it's actually a very Virgo. Both of these are very Virgo energies. Well, Justice of course is Libra as well, but the Page of Swords is the scout of the tarot cards or of a poker deck. He's looking for the details. He's checking how the panorama is. He's an investigator. He's a detective. He's, as I said, the scout in a war. So the energy of Virgo is, well, in general terms, of course, is there's a tendency to make the right decisions, and to with justice here, with balancing the scales. So Virgo, I think with the energy and what it's telling me is, although this energy can be in excess detrimental to people and would have a strong positioning in Virgo, because you might overthink every decision that you make because you want to make it perfect, and you're always you keep on obsessing that you need to know more facts, no more facts, no more facts in order to make the best decision. And in that energy, you sometimes get stuck and you don't even make any decisions, because you're just focusing on not making the wrong decisions, so you rather not make any decisions. But in this case, the Virgo, that's when you take Virgo to